That card scene from American Psycho, but everyone is filled with absolute lust. Call me. Paul Allen softly whispered as he handed out his business card to Bryce in a swift, graceful movement of his delectably lean yet firm arm. He then promptly left the meeting room, flaunting his reservation at Dorcia's with a charming, cheeky smirk. In an instant of ingenue naivete, of intrepid initiative, I decided to follow his lead and get my portable card holder. It was a beautiful quality object, sleek metal with a nice weight to it. It felt pleasant to hold in my hands. I meticulously pressed its closure in order to separate the two flaps of reflective material to reveal my own business card. I picked one of the precious paper rectangles with the tip of my fingers, dragging it across the table, almost caressing it against the varnished wood surface of the furniture in order to show it to my colleagues. "New card," I said with confidence. "What do you think?" I was quite proud of the design I picked for the card in question. The contrast between the stern white of the background and the not quite black, dark gray of the lettering was elevated by luscious bumps around the words caused by the indent of the print. Baxter, Bryce, and then Patten all leaned forward to observe the piece of paper. Baxter let out a gasp of excitement. "Oh, very nice, look at that." "Good coloring," Van Patten added. My card definitely lit up a spark in him. He was looking at me with the fire of eagerness. In order to instigate the flame inside him, I initiated input on the details concerning the object of his enthusiasm. "That's bone," I continued, "and the lettering is something called Cillian Rail." I detected a twinkle of satisfaction in Van Patten's eye. He opened his mouth. "It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing." In his classic way of motion, strong and rapid, he flipped his very card with his agile digits. The white of the paper was brighter than mine, and the indent of the letter had been taken away to highlight the pure black lettering on the stark background. The font was also thicker and more substantial. "That is really nice," Bryce commented. In his smooth, stern voice, of the same nature than his soft profile that always let a powerful, seductive strength lie underneath, Van Patten took us through the design. "Eggshell, with mammalian type. What do you think?" My breath had been taken away by the refined simplicity of the card. I let out a quiet whisper. "Nice." Bryce interjected with explicit adoration in a passionate, affectionate tone. "Jesus, that is really super. How did a nitwit like you get so tasteful?" He chuckled playfully and then followed by, "But wait, you ain't seen nothing yet." With an assured hand, Bryce got his own card holder out, let the card drop, and delicately picked it up with a precise movement of his experienced fingers. "Raised lettering," he presented, "pale nimbus, white." The font was sterner, and there was a texture in the background. The modernity of it was frankly admirable. "Impressive," I responded. "Very nice." This foreplay was quite pleasurable, but there was one more card I wished to see, one that made my body tense with anticipation since the beginning of the meeting, one that made my soul ache with insatiable desire. I, figuratively, laid my cards on the table. "Let's see Paul Allen's card." Bryce slowly reached the inner pocket of his blazer where he had preserved the token that our colleague had previously gifted to him. The weight was unbearable. He held it in front of my eyes. It had a perfectly smooth, subtly off-white surface, an indented lettering. It even had a watermark. I could read the words. Paul Allen, Vice President, in a font so tasteful it made me twitch with ecstasy. Professional, modern, but not in an overly simplistic way that could make it seem unpolished. This was the epitome of the business card done with class. I held it between my fingers. The thickness of the material felt angelic. Its consistency made my hand shiver with pleasure. It could have I could have I could have spent hours consumed by my undying lust, scrutinizing every aspect, every detail of this business card so flawless it became almost erotic. The space between each word, the curves of each letters, in a last pulsating spasm of pure gratification of the most intense passion, I coincidentally dropped the card on the rich wood of the meeting office table, letting out a soft whimper. Louis Carruthers' voice dragged me back to reality, away from my fantasy. Something wrong? Patrick, you're sweating.